Interim is Wofford's unique academic session in which students and faculty focus solely on one class or project during the month of January. The idea is to give both students and professors opportunities to explore new academic terrain while setting aside time needed to engage in hands-on learning experiences. Here's a glimpse at what the first week of Interim looked like in 2007.
Well, my name's Tim Schmitz. I'm a history professor, and this is not normally what I do, but this is my interim class. It's the third time I've taught it, and we call it the sort of theory and practice of saber fencing. We do a little bit of military history, a little bit of Hollywood sword fighting. We've used some movies, everything from Captain Blood to Highlander, and then we come in here and we fence for 3 days a week.
So I'm moving. Good.
Our trip is Adventures in Ecuador and the Galapagos, and we are here at the swim center practicing our snorkeling. And we visit 2 sites a day. In between visits to sites, we snorkel. We see lots of sea life. We swim with sea lions and white-tipped sharks and all sorts of wonderful critters. And many of these folks have never done snorkeling before.
That's the thing I really love about Wofford is you can experience a whole many different things during interim, especially like this, going abroad. If you don't have time to go abroad during the semester, then you could go abroad now.
There are travel courses to destinations ranging from Japan to South America to Greece. Students are also taking part in independent projects, pre-professional internships, and special research interests. On-campus courses, meanwhile, include an intense study of the life and legacy of Abraham Lincoln, a look into the politics and history of America's war on drugs, and rehearsals for Wofford Theater's production of Into the Woods.
We're taking it from the very, very top of the show. Rebecca, please set the stage for the top.
Why, come in, little girl.
I wish it's not for me, it's for my granny in the woods. A loaf of bread, please. Well, we were just rehearsing for Into the Woods. It's our second day of rehearsal. So I'm surprised we've gotten so far as we have. It's a combination of almost every fairy tale you can think of, and how they all connect together. And then in the second act, it's like fairy tales gone awry.
Into the woods without delay, be careful not to lose the way. Into the woods, who knows what may be lurking on the journey. Into the woods to sell the gold. Into the woods to get the money. Into the woods to lift the spell. To make the potion.
I'm Lynn Pace. I'm the Associate Chaplain and the Director of Service Learning and the Bonner Scholars Program at Wofford. So I get to teach during interim. I don't teach in the fall or spring and always do something with service learning. So in this class is exploring community through service. We're taking a look at how communities take shape and sometimes how they fall apart. And we're doing that mostly by studying about intentional communities, but alongside that, the students in the class will be partnered with a community in Spartanburg, and we're looking at 3: Arcadia, the Highland community, and the Northside community.
I'm a junior at Wofford College, and I'm doing the math major, but I'm also in the education program. It was kind of neat going to the Arcadia where they have the students come to the after-school program. Actually seeing the kids kind of got me excited about it.
Well, we've got our fly fishing interim. They're learning how to fly fish. We're learning a little marine biology, a little entomology, insects, and all the stuff that fish live on. So they're right now at the beginning of the class, they're learning how to do just fly casting, learn all the mechanics and the basics of it. And we're going to be on campus for about a week and a half doing that. And then we head up to Virginia, do a little trout fishing for a couple days. And then we've got 9 days down in the Bahamas, do a little bone fishing in the flats down in the Bahamas. If somebody has halfway decent motor skills, usually within a day or two, you can at least get the basics down. And just to see them learn a new skill and get in the outdoors, yeah, it's great.
I mean, there are lots of ways that students learn, and there are lots of things that students can learn in college. I mean, there's an interim this semester on knitting. But knitting is not just, I don't know, hook 1, curl 2 or whatever. It's also, there's a deep culture, there's a history to knitting or sewing. These things that we're doing are culturally embedded practices. Look at something like pottery. Making pots is something that civilizations have been doing, since people started storing grain or doing anything else. And so, there's so much, it's such a rich tapestry of things, and the way that we can approach them in interim is different. We can look at history, we can look at culture, and then we can actually go to a place and do it. And I think that's a form of learning that lots of people don't get a chance to do.
1, 2, 3, play. All right, going to sing again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, play.
Normally, I'm a violinist, and I sometimes even play the viola. Now you see I'm with the guitar, and the interim is basically supposed to be non-traditional, innovative learning, and they asked for it, they got it. It's terrific fun. I'm really having a good time, and I'm not the instructor. I made that very clear in the syllabus. So I've got a terrific instructor who's young and can identify with the students, and he's been terrific. Mostly my students are interested in pop, rock and roll, blues, and my goal is very simple. I need to learn to play Home on the Range and and the Green Sleeves, and maybe Happy Trails when I get to it. And so I've gone completely country, away from my classical genre that I'm so used to, and that's basically what the interim is about, non-traditional, far-out learning.